So for Caleb, you're coming into probably one of the best spots because no, you don't have a good quarterback to learn from as far as a veteran. You have Tyler Badgett, who, yes, he has a year of experience under his belt. I don't
Hey
really count
man,
that.
hey man,
I don't really count that for that man.
he
That's
has
Bajent.
earned he has earned his
Agent.
last name. He
And
has
that's
My
earned
bad.
his
Bajent.
last name.
My bad. It's
That's
Bajent. My
Bajent.
bad. My
Back
bad.
in
But
preseason, I didn't give a fuck, but that man got 2 wins. That man has earned his last name, Tony.
Hey, Mike,
Goddamn.
I'm with you. That is Bajent.
but
That is Agent Bajan, sir. You pronounced it
but
right.
but nonetheless, though, he's coming into the best spot because not only do you have a young veteran wide receiver who's still young enough who can build a chemistry with you and help, kind of lead you and guide you, you have another very good wide receiver who's a veteran who was in the league for a long time with Phillip Rivers, also helped develop another great quarterback in Justin Herbert as far as being able to work with him, giving him tips and tricks and whatnot. You have a good solid running back who's been around the league, been allowed a lot of great quarterbacks in Matt Stafford,
Yeah.
Goff, and then Jalen Hurts. So he's got just about everything you could really want as far as best setup goes to be a potential success.
I would agree. I would agree. And I think the
Yeah, you
draft
talking, Tony. You talking.
I would think the draft has a lot to do with that. And that's one of our last topics tonight, really breaking down what they're going to do with that number 9 overall pick. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go right now. I think I see a lot of people talking about the Bears are going to trade it for T. Higgins or something. They're not trading for T. Higgins. They have 2 number 1 wide receivers. DJ Moore is on his last year of his deal in 2025. Keenan Allen's on a 1 year right now. T. Higgins wants to be one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. So it's just too many mouths to feed. It's not happening. I think if anything right now for me, you don't trade down 9 anywhere. I think the best player
Mhm.
available is exactly where you need to go, whether that's offensive line or it's in a situation right now to where you see maybe somehow, some way. I saw Pro Football Focus had their mock draft today after Justin Fields was traded. They have I believe it was the Las Vegas Raiders or the Minnesota Vikings trading up to number 4 with the Cardinals. And now a guy like Malik Neighbors falls to the Chicago Bears at number 9. If Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze are available, that's awesome. But if Jared Verse or Dallas Turner are available for the pass rush, I think that's the way you do it. But Tony, I know you were more prepared about it. I'll give Rob a minute to collect where he wants to go with it. Top 3 players that you would go with at number 9 right now if you're the Chicago Bears, say in whatever scenario you're given, they're available. As long as it's not Marvin Harrison Jr., I'll say it's a potential shot.
It's
But where
it's
are
realistic.
you at?
If it was me, I would still stick with offense. I would go Malik Neighbors at wide receiver for LSU. If he's available,
If
um,
big if
I would
too, I think.
big if another big if the dude is available, I would go with Joe Alt, the tackle out of Notre Dame, who is
Okay.
solid. That would also continue to shore up your offensive line, give you a lot of help there and whatnot. If I had to pick a third, I would probably go defense and say Dallas Turner on the edge. Or if you wanted to kind of shore up the secondary a little bit more, you could also go and get Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Oh, and you wanted to know who Shane Waldron coached in when he was with Washington in 2016. It was Kirk Cousins. So he's had a plethora of pretty decent quarterbacks that he's worked with.
Of
Kirk
course.
probably being the quote unquote worst with having one win in 12 years, one
Man,
playoff
would
win in
you
12 years.
okay, wait, but would you say who's worse, Jared Goff, who he also coached in the Super Bowl of 2018, or would you say Kirk Cousins?
Oh, Kirk, because at least golf, like you saw it in the regular season. Like you remember
Mm,
that Chiefs versus Rams game?
I do. That
That
was a
was that
tough
was a
game.
prime time game.
That
Like
was
that, you
the game to start the season.
like you couldn't get much better of a game. Like that was solid. I mean, they fumbled it, at the end of the year when it
Of
came
course.
to facing the Patriots with Bill Belichick and whatnot. That was a god awful Super Bowl. But but hey, he's had pretty decent success. So again, just kind of reaffirming Caleb's coming in the best spot. Like you said, you still have the number 9 overall draft pick. You can do pretty much anything. And with the exception of doing a Bill Belichick and drafting a punter or a kicker, anything you add at this point is going to be an added boost to that offense or to that defense as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, mine is really quick, and then we'll get Rob's opinion on it. I think my top 3 guys, Tony kind of covered. I'm gonna do slashes next to mine because either one can be available. Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze, if any of them are available, I take them first and foremost. I think that's where I'm at because for me, what it comes down to is, like I said, Keenan Allen's on a 1 year deal. He wants to get paid. He even vocally said, I didn't come here to take a pay cut. I didn't leave there so I can become the highest paid wide receiver, but I definitely want to be respected for what I've put in. DJ Moore, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the 2025 season. So this right here, getting a Roma Dunze or a Malik Neighbors solidifies someone who's going to run with Caleb Williams from start to finish in their Bears rookie contracts. These guys are going to develop together just like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. You could even argue T. Higgins because T. Higgins was relatively young when Joe Burrow came on the scene as well, and we've seen how that's worked out. I think those two building that camaraderie together while also either Malik or Rome just get to be themselves while two other number one wide receivers can help mentor them. You talked about Alex Smith earlier for Patrick Mahomes. What Keenan Allen and DJ Moore can help bring to one of those two young wide receivers, I think would be huge. Number two, I'm going to go with either Dallas Turner or Jared Verse. Whichever pass rusher is available, I'm without a doubt taking them to complete the puzzle on defense. That's really one of the only needs. I'm big on Javon Dexter Sr. They obviously extended Andrew Billings, Montez Sweat. You got a lot of guys in those trenches, but DeMarcus Walker cannot be the guy who's paired up alongside Montez Sweat come opening night. So I think Jared or Dallas would definitely be the move. And my third one is Fashanu. I think Fashanu is one of the more interesting ones out of Penn State for me. I don't think Joe Alt is available. I think that's where Tennessee or Atlanta goes, especially after bringing in Ridley and Pollard. You know, they unless they go Brock Bowers, cool. But I would definitely say Fashanu is one of those guys that I would take a look at. I know he's not. I know statistically Joe Alt and all of those guys are a little over him, but I think just like Darnell Wright, Ryan Poles understands you don't always have to go with the biggest name. You don't always have to get the biggest offensive lineman, the fastest, strongest guy. It's all about the discipline. It's all about who they're going to be able to be. That was a shitty Penn State team. And Fashanu was holding it down all year long for as long as he could. The man was a brick wall. So I would say one of those wide receivers, one of those pass rushers, or Fashanu clear cut would be my guy. I'd take at 9. Rob, number 9 overall pick. What would you rock out with?
Man, I gotta say, I agree with a lot of what you guys said, but there's one guy you guys didn't say. So, of course, Gunze from Washington. I would take him if Nate is not available, but I liked him. Like, besides Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he was the next best receiver in this draft.
Tony will heavily disagree as a LSU Tigers fan.
Hey, but I just have to say, I think before we go on to my next two, you say that though because a lot of people been sleep on Jay McDaniels, like McDaniel, like that kid is a stud.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. I said I keep putting the Mick on the beginning of his name, but Daniels. Yeah, let me get that right. I wanted to get his name right because he's also a guy that's earned his name as a quarterback. That kid is tough, man. Like
you would take him at 9.
St. Patty's Day is over. St. Patrick's Day was yesterday. Ain't no Mick in front of nobody no more. It's just Daniels.
Yeah. I gotta take that Mick out of his name. Hey, Tony, I appreciate you because he has definitely earned his name, man. Jaden Daniels, man, like that kid is tough, man. Like that dude is, as a quarterback, I like him, and I think he might actually be the sleeper in this draft as far as QBs go. But on to my other two, I got a Gunze. Like I think you have to put in Dallas, like you said, that defensive end. Like I would like to see him on the other side of Montez Sweat because it's not looking like. And of course, I didn't think we would be able to get Chase Young. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go on to another team. I forgot what team he was requesting to be with. Yeah, the Saints. Yeah, like and the Saints
signed already. It's a 1 year, $13
million. I saw that in our chat, and I'm like, man, we're talking about a Saints team that's already been known for their tough defense, and now you bringing in this guy. I feel sorry for the South and the NFC. And then also, I think a guy a lot of people ain't been talking about, don't know his name, that tight end from Georgia, man. And I know we already have 2 tight ends, right? But man, I think this dude is gonna be on the Gronk level, on the Kelsey level. I think this kid is him. To me, like I've seen what he's done with Georgia, man. And this kid got all the right stuff to be a tight end. I mean, he gonna get the job done on blocking, but when you put him in the open field, it's cracking for whoever.
Yeah.
It's cracking for whoever. You can put whoever out there. I'm gonna get mine. And I like what this kid have, man. He's been a staple in Georgia for a couple of years. Like this kid is him.
I
This
think I
kid is
think
him.
there's I think there's a reasonable conversation or world where you do have Brock Bowers on the Bears, and I think like especially when you do three tight end sets, I think you
Yeah.
have Gerald Everett really be that guy who's just blocking the entire time, and either DJ or Keenan would be the only wide receiver, and you can have Cole and Brock be your two end tight ends that are just going to go out there. If you ever played Madden before, you know I'm talking tight end attack. But I think that's really where you would go with that. But
But
I
I
just think
think I think I think Cole is on heat now. Like how we talked about Justin Fields and everybody. Like now you're on the clock.
I don't
Like
think
show us what you can do.
I don't think so, especially just because they extended Cole Kmet for 3 seasons. I think he's in a great spot right now, and
Yeah,
tight ends are hard to come by. I don't see it.
but now I get that, Mike. But now we're talking about teams that pay somebody on $1 in the dream and then just be like it ain't working.
I it's been working though for Cole Kmet. You know what Cole
Not
Kmet.
for me, man. Like I think Cole Komet gotta stand. Like he's been getting better, right? And to me, if he would have been more of a threat, if he would have been more of a threat, I think you would have got less pressure on DJ Moore.
I don't
And I
think so.
think that's what teams were starting to look at. When we got DJ Moore, we were so excited, right?
Right.
And I'm just giving you my point of view from what I saw. We were so excited, and teams understood the threat that we were getting when we got DJ Moore. And then they started realizing, yeah, DJ Moore is the only one that's gonna stand up.
Right.
And they started triple teaming him, double teaming him, triple teaming him, and it was to the point it was like, who else is gonna beat us? And Cole Kmet get his touchdown in the first quarter, and get to swing the bat, hit the home run, do what he does when he celebrates. But at the end of the day, it's like, when are you going to show up? I don't even need you to score touchdowns. When are you going to start to make those key catches that we need to keep the drive going? Because at the end of the day, we lost a lot of leads in the third or fourth quarter because we could no longer keep the drive going. If we're not hitting you with the home run shot, we getting stopped. That's what
100%.
I'm telling you from my eyes. I was watching these. I was definitely watching Bears games because I was excited for what we could see, and that was the recipe for everything we saw. That's why we were the biggest team for fourth quarter like giving up the lead because
Yeah.
who are going to make those key catches when we need to get a first down when
And
we
I'll
need to
tell you
make
this
things
though.
happen?
I'll tell you from firsthand experience watching a Cole Kmet be wide open going up the middle in an Arizona Cardinal game. We're all there on Christmas, and Justin Fields just doesn't see him. So there were plenty of times where Justin Fields just didn't make key plays, and I also think Luke Getsy was a shit OC. And like you said about that offensive line, how many times have I seen Cole Kmet after that first quarter have to go block because guys like Lucas Patrick or Cody Whitehair or Braxton Jones can't handle their responsibilities? So I think we haven't really seen a Cole Kmet in a position to where he's just an offensive threat. We've always seen him have to block. We've always seen him have to make up for this offensive line lacks. And I'm looking at him from 2020 to now. He's continuously got better every single year. 2020, he had 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sure, you're a rookie, whatever. 2021, immediately 612 yards. 2022, 544 with 7 touchdowns. This past season, a career high in 719 yards, 6 touchdowns. I think Cole has really come into himself, and I think that's why they've extended him. Especially Rob, when you look at like we brought up with Tony, really just talking about not to just play devil's advocate the whole time, but you understand Cole's locked up for 3 more seasons. Gerald Everett's going to be here for 2 more seasons. When you look at the wide receivers, these guys are gone after this year and next year. This year, 2024 and 2025, and DJ and Keenan. So I think your tight end spot's pretty locked up, unless you look at Robert Tunyon and you're like, just get the fuck out of here, which is perfectly fine. But it's like if it comes down to the number 9 pick, and you know that these 2 wide receivers who are number 1 options and really the only reason this offense is in a good position, if they're going to dip, you need to prepare for the future. And that's our final topic of the night. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. As it ranks today, they're in the NFL. We have to talk about everybody. We're not just talking about, the NFC North, because even in the NFC North, I think it's a tricky conversation if you name them number 1. Where do you rank the DJ Moore, Keenan Allen duo in the NFL today? Not in Bears history, not in the NFC North. Tony, I'm going to start with you. Where are you putting DJ and Allen?
Oof. So I'm gonna list off a few just so I can like try to think
For
of my
sure.
list.
For sure. Take your
So
time.
so you've got Tyreek and Jalen, or
Sure.
yeah, Jalen Waddle. You've got Justin Jefferson and Jordan
Jordan
Addison.
Addison. USC.
Exactly, USC. Uh,
See Debo, Ayuk,
yeah, Debo Ayuk could probably be like in
AJ,
the 3
Devontae.
category. Yeah, that'd be 4. I'd probably put them at a like about 5 or 6, like 5 or 6, like top 10 duos. Only because the all of those other combinations, with the exception of Tyreek, all those guys are pretty young. Keenan being 32, about to be 33. That hurts a little bit because you don't have the longevity with him as much. You're going to get a couple more years, but not as much as the other
Right.
guys. But I would still put them up at 5 or 6 because again, Keenan is another one of those guys, much like Scary Terry, because his team may not necessarily be doing well, even though Keenan's had the advantage of he had Phillip Rivers and then he got Justin Herbert. So
Right.
he's had solid quarterbacks back to back. Scary Terry out here trying to make things work with Fitzmagic for like 10 seconds and that don't happen. But I would put him at about 5 or 6 probably in the NFL as a whole.
See, I put them actually at 8 to 10. I
8
think
to
that's
10.
what 8 to 10 is where I'd put them. I think there's a lot of guys that, we might just be skipping on off the dome right now that are going to be great. I think there's a lot of different conversations you can make about a Travis Kelce. Is he in that conversation? If we're looking it up for what it is right now, though, I think there's wide receiver duos that people just don't talk about. You know what I mean? Like there's guys who maybe they're not going to win a Super Bowl, but definitely solid tandems. And I'm looking it up right now. You still have to put in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I think you definitely have to put them in there. I think they make that list. The Dallas Cowboys, obviously, with CD Lamb and Brandon Cooks, you have to have that conversation. The Tampa Bay
Mike
Bucks.
Evans, Chris Godwin.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucks are another one. I'm looking at the list as it was ranked off CBS right now. The 49ers, the Vikings, we already mentioned. We're going to keep looking at this list as it goes on. I think they're anywhere from 8 to 10. I think that's a safe spot. Even DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Even if you don't want to count Lockett, cool. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. Like there's a lot of teams out there that I would look at and say, listen, these guys might be the guys. Now, there are teams that I will say like 2 teams that are in the top 10 right now, the Buffalo Bills, because of Gabe Davis. He's gone. So now it's just Stephon Diggs. And then obviously a team that you look at like who was the other team I was looking at? Oh, the Chargers. Keenan Allen's a Bear now. Mike Williams
and
is
Mike
gone.
Williams.
So right. So okay, maybe the Bears to me are in that 8 to 10 window. I don't think they immediately scream to me with a rookie quarterback that they are a top 5 duo. I think if Caleb Williams, to Rob Scott's point, if Caleb Williams is that guy, then they can immediately be a top 5 duo. You know what I mean? If he's the next Patrick Mahomes or he's the next greatest prospect and he pans out in his rookie year like CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson, then yeah, for sure they're a top 5 duo. But as of right now, with the rookie quarterback expectations, new offensive play caller, I would go into that and I would say anywhere from 8 to 10. Rob, where would you rank them?
Man, that's tough, bro. 'Cause
And also, wait, really quick. Welcome home, Rob.
Nah, I'm out and about, hotel room
Oh, okay.
downtown.
Not home.
Not home, not home. I'm
I
out
thought
here
we just got
working.
a tour from Rob Scott's crib.
Nah, no. We out here working, man. You know what I do, man. I'm operations, so I'm out here at all the trade shows. Hey, shout out to us. Shout out to Show Strategy. I can say this out loud now because we've been doing some good things, but we got the DNC. So we're building a Democratic National Convention in July and August. That's going to be here in Chicago. So shout out to us, first black owned company that got the DNC contract, man. So shout out to Show Strategy. Shout out to my boss, Glenn Charles, man. We doing some big things. But
Oh yeah.
back to what we were talking about. I think I would have to agree with Tony. Like maybe top 6 to top 10, and I can't name all of the receiving cores offhand,
Right.
but I
It's a long
think
list.
that
I ain't
I
blame you.
think I think that Kelsey and Rice, and even though Kelsey is a tight end, you can count him as a receiver. I think
Sure.
Kelsey and Rice, they're going to be a top receiving core. Of course, we got Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think now that you might possibly have a full year with Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, like they might be a top receiving core. Especially now that they got Derrick Henry over there, he's going to open up so many things for that receiving core. Pauls, now that he's over there and going to be able to open a lot of things up for the Baltimore Ravens because now we're talking about Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry that can run, option read offenses. It's going to be crazy over there. And then you got to talk about the Eagles. I know Tony again. You don't want to talk about the Eagles, but you got to talk about AJ Brown over there with Dante Smith, and I don't know where AJ is going to end up when it's all said and done, but right now, as of right now, that Eagles receiving core is still something to contend with. And then you got to talk about the Cowboys. You got to talk about they still got CeeDee Lamb over there. They still got some guys over there. I know they just released Michael Gallup, but you know they have some money over there to spend. And we know Jerry Jones, if he's not dealing in a draft, he's not really a big offseason guy, but he might get to the point where he might start thinking maybe we have to bring in some weapons over here. You know what I
I
mean?
think that's where I haven't mentioned this to Tony yet because I don't want anybody just tuning in. Tony was a Bears/Cowboys fan, and after this past season is straight da Bears. But he's an observer now. His second team is an observer. He's just having fun watching football.
Yeah, but hey, look, how many times have we said we've done with the Bears? But at the end of the day, our eyes are still on the Bears.
For sure.
So I get Tony said he's not rocking with the Cowboys, but at the end of the day, he got that blue and gray, that blue and silver in his heart.
No. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that ex that is toxic, and then you finally break up with that ex, and you're like, nah, I gotta be away from you for a little bit.
I think it was for Tony, and I can't speak for Tony, but like just like you with the Warriors, like the Bulls were your first love, and then you fell in love with Kobe, and you fell in love with Curry, so they were your like second option, while the Bulls were in purgatory and still are in purgatory. But I think that was it for Tony, where it was like, yeah, I'm a Bears fan, but I like the Cowboys, and just like me, like I'm sitting here today and I'm like, man, I really like certain players. I'm really into these guys. I got to pause.
Yeah.
I think they're really dope. But Tony, that was the final topic. The show is about to end, but I want to ask you something. As a former Cowboys fan, you know that OBJ announced today he will not be returning as a Baltimore Raven. Is there a potential chance, because we knew this was a conversation a couple years ago, that he goes to the Dallas Cowboys?
Why not?
Here's why, Rob. So I know they released Michael Gallup, and I haven't seen the updated numbers for their salary cap.
Hey, Tony, they didn't spend anything. What's up?
I know. You want to know what their salary cap was before that?
What happened, Tony?
Their salary cap was $2.2 million. That's it. They ain't got nothing to spend. That's the problem. You want to know how much Dak is costing against their cap? $60 million. $59.4 million against the cap.
I like that though, because in the short term they're going to be able to cut him down the line, and I think it's a sacrifice
next year
they just have to make. Yeah, I definitely
can cut him after next year.
Shout out Trey Lance.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I don't see OBJ doing it for two reasons.
The money, sure.
The money is going to be the biggest thing, because while yes, he's from Texas, they flirted with him before. I think the wide receivers coach at one point was the same guy that coached him when he was at LSU. Go Tigers! He financially, Jerry just can't afford it, as well as OBJ is not going to be that main piece in the Cowboys offense, because you've still got CeeDee Lamb. I believe they still have Brandon Cooks under contract as well.
I think so.
You'd have OBJ potentially, as well as the emergence of Jake Ferguson, who looked really good last year.
And don't you have the 5?
Hey, I like that kid. Ferguson, a dog.
Ferguson is a dog, but I think
he is a dog. Hey, Ferguson, shout out to you, because I put you on a lot of my tickets and you got me some money, my boy. Oh
Wow.
God.
But no, isn't your running back like 5'8"?
I don't even know who the running back is at the current moment because they got rid of Tony Pollard. I think
They
they
got the
only
kid.
have Rico Dowdle.
I think that was him. He was on the team last year. I think they got him right now. I'm curious to see if they rock out with him because let's see, Cowboys running back room. Let's check it out. This is gonna be bad. I'm already knowing the depth chart for 2023.
So they had Rico Dowdle and they had some dude. Hupka,
Oh no, it was Deuce, wasn't it?
Deuce Vaughn. Oh yeah, they do have Deuce Vaughn still. I forgot he got
Deuce
injured at
Vaughn.
like the end of the year, and then they demoted him down to practice squad.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was Deuce Vaughn. He's 5'5". What the fuck?
Supposed to be another Darren Sproles, but Dallas ain't gonna use him like that.
Crazy. I don't want to hear an excuse from anybody ever again. Like my excuse is that I suck, but like other people's is like height. But like, my body sucks. Everything breaks.
Hey, buddy, I'm 6'3" and I suck. Like you could be tall you want. Like you put me on a basketball court, I'm like a newborn baby deer trying to move on ice. Like
but I'm Mr. Hit that hoe. And excuse my language, but if you put me on the court, I'm a knockdown artist.
Man, get out of my way. Man,
I gotta be like Zach Edey. I just gotta reach up and grab stuff.
Hey Mike, you seen people verify what I do on Facebook and everything. Like I really do that.
Yeah, bro. I hear you. But yeah, bro. No, I remember bro told me we were talking the other day because we were talking about we won a championship over the winner, Lakeshore Drive Kings. But you know, we were talking about it, and I was just like, they were like, man, Mike, you're the D Rose of Chicago for real. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you know, all the MVPs and the too big, too fast, too strong. I was like, yeah. They're like, nah, you don't got none of that, but you hurt all the time. And I was like, damn, that shit, it just hurt my heart. But listen, man, we had a great show today. I appreciate Rob Scott of Rob's 2 Cents, Tony Hollinsworth of Inside the Hoosier Mind. This is Mike Hughes, a.k.a. The Shy Kid, and you are listening to Mike on the Mic and Everything Chicago Sports-related podcast. Until next time, welcome to the Caleb Willams era. Justin Fields, we love, we miss you. Thank you for everything. But get the fuck out of here. You gotta go. You gotta go home, but you gotta get out of here. I love you.